Day 21. 21 is significant because in the US, when you turn 21, you can drink alcohol. The last restriction on life is lifted. But on day 21 of your 30-day English vocabulary challenge, you get to learn 3 new words. Yes, this month we're learning 105 words from the academic word list. Words that will help you have sophisticated English conversations. Words you need to know if you're preparing for an exam like IELTS or TOEFL. I've been watching the posts you've been making about this challenge. It's incredible, inspiring. Make up a sentence to a word you learn and post it on social. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to download the study guide that goes with this 30-day challenge. You can do that by clicking here or the link in the video description. Learn the words, ace the quizzes. You've got this. Today we start with the word appropriate, and it has 2 different pronunciations. Appropriate, that's an adjective, appropriate. We also have a verb, appropriate.
Appropriate. Appropriate.
So the difference is not in stress. They both have stress on the second syllable. It's in the pronunciation of the last syllable, it versus ate. Appropriate. Appropriate. So the adjective, appropriate, means right or suited for some purpose or situation. A movie with a lot of violence is not appropriate for young children. As a verb, appropriate. It means to get or save, as in money, for a specific use or purpose. The town has appropriated funds to repair the bridge, and work should begin this summer. Appropriated funds, saved this money, set it aside specifically for this project. It also means to take or use something illegally or unfairly. Let's see these 2 pronunciations up close and in slow motion.
Appropriate. 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 Appropriate.
And now we'll go to Youglish for 5 examples.
Instead, we plant food-bearing, native, and climate-appropriate plants.
Climate-appropriate plants. Plants that are appropriate for that specific climate. Plants that are suited to the rainfall and temperatures of that particular area.
Instead, we plant food-bearing, native, and climate-appropriate plants.
Here's another example.
However, we do appropriate the dollars they have.
Appropriate the dollars. This is just like in our sample sentence of the verb, to set aside money for a particular project. That money is to be spent on that project only, not something else.
However, we do appropriate the dollars they have.
Here's another example.
So in some cases it is appropriate that they would add those programs back.
Appropriate, the adjective, right for the situation. In some cases, it's right, it makes sense to add back programs. He's talking about budget cuts for a city. Due to budget cuts, they took out programs that were important for childhood education. When they had more money, they were able to begin those programs again. And that was right for the situation, because those programs truly did make a difference in the education of the children of that city. They were not wasteful programs with no result. So it was appropriate to restart them. You know, I wonder if maybe they appropriated funds for these appropriate programs. There I used the verb and the adjective in the same sentence. They appropriated funds, they set aside money for these specific programs because restarting the programs was the right thing to do. It was appropriate now that they've had enough money for them. They appropriated funds for the appropriate programs.
So in some cases it is appropriate that they would add those programs back.
Another example.
I'm trying to be careful about selecting what he's watching and making sure that it's sort of age appropriate.
Age appropriate. I have a 4-year-old son who's becoming very interested in TV shows and movies, and honestly, it's hard to find some that are age appropriate. that are suited for him, that are right for him. We found that even a lot of kids' movies have quite a bit of violence or scary parts.
I'm trying to be careful about selecting what he's watching and making sure that it's sort of age appropriate.
Our last example.
Applause is appropriate.
Applause is appropriate. It's okay to clap. You know, when I was in high school, I saw a friend playing a tennis match and I cheered, "Ah, go Jenny!" At a time when you're supposed to be quiet, right before the serve. I didn't know the rules of tennis. I didn't know that that was inappropriate. That noise was not suited to that environment, and I was embarrassed. In this example, applause is appropriate.
Applause is appropriate.
Our next word actually has the word appropriate in the definition. It's relevant.
relevant,
As an adjective, it means relating to a subject in an appropriate way, a way that makes sense. Do you have any experience that's relevant to the job? Let's say you're applying for a job as a social media manager. They want to know what experience you have related to social media, marketing, customer support, and experience. They don't want to know about every job you've ever had, babysitting, driving for Uber, and so on. They want to know the relevant experience. Let's see that word again up close and in slow motion.
relevant, 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 relevant.
And now we'll go to Youglish for 5 examples.
And the life of Dr. Hooks is relevant to every young person today.
Relevant to every young person today. The life of Dr. Hooks, something about Dr. Hooks, should matter to every person, relates to the life of every young person today.
And the life of Dr. Hooks is relevant to every young person today.
Here's another example.
You can share any information that you think might be relevant to other parties.
Share information you think might be relevant, might be related to what other people want to know, related to the topic they're interested in, relevant.
You can share any information that you think might be relevant to other parties.
Here's another example.
This is very relevant to the debate.
Relevant to the debate. This information matters. It's related to the topic we're debating. For example, if you and I are debating whether or not to buy a vacation home, and you want to show me information on the statistics of your favorite soccer team, that's completely irrelevant, the opposite of relevant. It does not relate at all to whether or not we should buy a vacation home. But if you bring up research on making money from renting out a vacation home, that's something that might change my mind on whether or not to buy one. It's relevant, related information.
This is very relevant to the debate.
Another example.
That's a message that is more relevant now than ever.
More relevant now than ever. This message matters to us now because it's related to how life is now in 2021, the realities we face today in society.
That's a message that is more relevant now than ever.
Our last example.
Portfolios are relevant in every field.
Relevant in every field. In every field, every topic of study, science, architecture, and so on. In every field, portfolios are relevant. A portfolio is a collection of highlights of your work. For example, if you're hiring a graphic designer, you might look at her portfolio, examples of past work, to see if you like this style, the graphics she's designed and come up with. Traditionally, we think of portfolios as being important in creative fields like the visual arts or music composition. But here, Sal Khan is arguing that portfolios are relevant in every field. Having a collection of your work to showcase is important, no matter what your area of expertise.
Portfolios are relevant in every field.
Our last word today is focus.
Focus,
Do make sure you have a little bit of lip rounding for the second half of that diphthong. Oh. We have a change in lip movement because we have a change in sound. Focus. And that second syllable should be said really quickly. Focus. It's a noun. It means a subject that's being discussed or studied. An interest. The study's main focus is adults with sleep disorders. As a verb, it means to direct your attention or effort at something specific. She has an amazing ability to focus on her work for hours at a time. Let's see this again up close and in slow motion.
Focus. 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 Focus.
And now we'll go to Youglish for 5 examples.
Among the many gifts my mother gave me was the ability to focus on the positive rather than the negative.
Almost every situation in life has positive parts and negative parts. Which parts do you focus on? Do you direct your attention to, give your effort and energy to?
Among the many gifts my mother gave me was the ability to focus on the positive rather than the negative.
Here's another example.
We have become so short-term in our focus.
Short-term in focus. To focus on things that are relevant in our near future, not long-term. Hey, I just used relevant. To put our attention only on things that are happening now or will happen soon, not thinking at all about what we'll need years from now. Short-term versus long-term.
We have become so short-term in our focus.
Here's another example.
We've got to focus on how we can best serve and support the American people.
This is what we have to focus on, to give our attention to.
We've got to focus on how we can best serve and support the American people.
Another example.
They have a focus to solve really big problems, like hunger.
They have to focus to do this. They can't do this if they're distracted, working on many things at once. They have to direct their attention and effort specifically at this problem. It won't get solved by chance or while they're doing something else.
They have a focus to solve really big problems, like hunger.
Our last example.
It's been a huge opportunity for me to focus and really pay attention to something I care a lot about.
To focus and pay attention, to direct his energy and effort on something that's important to him.
It's been a huge opportunity for me to focus and really pay attention to something I care a lot about.
Seeing all the real-life examples can really help you understand how to use these words, can't it? I have a challenge for you now. Make up a sentence with one of these words, make a short video of your sentence, and post it to social media. Tag me and use the hashtag Rachel's English 30-Day Challenge. Don't be shy, you can do this. I've loved seeing what you've posted so far. Our next video comes out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Philadelphia time. Come on back to learn 3 more vocabulary words. In the meantime, keep your studies going with this video and check out my online courses at Rachel's English Academy. You'll become a more confident English speaker. And please do remember to subscribe. I love being your English teacher. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English.